Yo guys, it's your friend here, bringing you another awesome Naruto what if tale. What if Naruto formed a powerful adult harem with Hinata and Hanabi? Part 1. Huge shout out to Furjan for this story. If you want more awesome fanfiction like this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. So without wasting any time, let's get into the video. There was a young blonde boy who was wondering why his life was the way it was, how he was ignored and shunned by the villagers when they thought he couldn't hear. They would say harsh and demeaning words. He thought the question a million times, what did I do to T would be so horrible that they would treat him like this. His life was very lonely so far, and deep down he hoped one day that everything would change for the better. We find the blonde boy sleeping alone in his dirty room, his bed made from rags. However, he wasn't sleeping peacefully. He started having vivid dreams of battles and a life not his own. Who would ever think that one boy's dream would start a journey that would shake the world? The young blonde boy named Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto Yamaki was a young blonde boy with fair skin and blue eyes. His outfit consisting of a black shirt with red spiral design and brown shirts with blue sandals was long since worn out. He had 3 marks resembling whisker marks on each cheek. He was rather short for his age, being 3 inches shorter than he should be, and didn't eat healthy. His diet consisting of mainly ramen. Theo's room inside his dream. This is straw. NGE thought a Naruto as he was talking with an old man with gray skin and 3 eyes. Despite this, he felt safe with the old man. Now to others that might seem normal, except that he had never seen this man before. When Naruto looked into the decorative mirror that was placed on the wall, he was shocked. The person staring back was not himself, at least not his current self. The person in the mirror was a brown-haired tall man wearing a white yukata. Now this couldn't be possible since Naruto wasn't older than 6 years old, yet somehow the man in the mirror and the old man was talking about something that seemed important, but his younger naive mind did not understand. He was able to pick up on only a few words said. It boiled down to the topic about succession. Then in a flash everything changed. Now he was facing someone that had the same hair color of the person in the mirror from before. However, now things were more intense and there was more hate in his eyes than he could imagine. He was inside some giant made of purple flames with swords. His own body taking the form of the man he saw in the mirror was standing on the head of a giant wood statue that somehow could move, and from what he could see the why were preparing to fight. That thought was confirmed when they charged at each other. Naruto screamed, just having woken up from what looked like a nightmare. He took deep breaths to calm himself as he checked himself to see if this was really his own body and not the adult from his dreams. It all felt so real. Oh, not again, thought the young boy. These dreams had been happening more often for the last 2 weeks. Ever since that day. Flashback, we see Naruto who was walking to the forest with his head down. Once again he had asked some kids if he could play with them. Once again they had rejected him with the same excuse that they always use and ignore him. 2 years ago when he first enrolled at the academy, he was hoping that he could made some friends so he wouldn't feel so lonely. Said sadly that didn't happen, and the same treatment that he got by the rest of the village also followed him into the classroom. He was also ignored by the others even after class was over. The few classmates that talked to him have to leave with their parent when they came to pick them up. He was just walking further inside the forest when the view of an old temple attracted his attention. When he got closer, he could see the temple was rather dilapidated. He also noticed it had the same symbol that was on the shirt that the old Hokage had given him some time ago. Feeling great curiosity, Naruto went inside the temple, and like any kid his age, he believed that he had found a secret playground just for him. Further inside the temple, he found a room that had many different masks on the walls. Like any kid his age, he just picked up one of the masks and used it while he began to run inside the rooms pretending that he was a masked ninja until he tripped over a piece of wood and fell face first, breaking he mask, ending his little game. Holding his tears from the blow, Naruto decided that it was time to return home. At night Naruto had the first of the dreams where he saw people that seemed familiar but that he had never seen before. What all the dreams had in common is that each time he saw all the events from the point of view of some else, yet when he saw a reflection he saw a face that was not his, and each night it was some else. Sometimes it was the guy with a brown hair, while others was a black-haired man with red armor, and each time he saw different parts of their life, their moments of sadness And happiness their problems and their battles, but more important their beliefs, fighting styles, and jutsu. As much as these dreams distressed the poor young boy, he knew there was nothing he could to do. He decided to try to sleep again, hoping that those strange dreams will stop and flash back. It has been a couple weeks since those dreams began. Beside the dreams being entertaining, Naruto didn't know what to think about them. It was that very morning that his life began to change as he got ready to go to the practice ground. Today was a weekend day and he didn't need to go to the academy, though he will use all his free time practicing because he wanted to prove to all the kids in the academy that he isn't a dead last as they made fun of him. More importantly than that, he had to prove it to himself, and because he never got any real help from the teachers, he also didn't have anyone that he ask for help. He has to work so much harder just to be close to the level of the other kids who had either the support of their families or are really taught by the teachers. So today he will be practicing the chakra control exercise that he saw in the academy. But when he arrives at the training round, he saw how two people, a genin and a younger boy that looked just like him, who was probably his brother, were already there, and the training that they were doing looked more interesting than the stupid leaf exercise. He saw how the genin began to climb on one tree, but he didn't use his hands. Or importantly, he was walking just like it was the park walkway. He overheard as the genin then began to talk to his younger brother about how he should control his chakra and all that boring stuff that was explained in the academy. After hearing the explanation, Naruto left the place and went somewhere else to try to do just what that genin just did. So after he found a secluded place, he looked at the tree in front of him. Come on, I can do this. I will be the greatest ninja in history, so this should be a piece of cake. He said this as he ran towards the tree, and when his foot made contact in the step and began to rise, he believed that he had done it. However, that idea died a second later when he reached the second step and fell to the ground. "Ah, it hurts," exclaimed Naruto as he stands up after he recovered from the hit. He got some distance by running away from the tree, then once again tried to climb the tree, and again he failed. After a couple hours of this, he decided that for today he was done. The will try again tomorrow. That very night he also has a dream about lessons that he received when he was the kid with brown hair or the black-haired one, and sometimes lessons that he provides others. But this night he dreamed about how that rare old man with gray skin and that strange third eye, Indra Asura. "From this moment I will teach you how to awaken your chakra so you can begin your own path in the art of ninshu." "What is ninshu?" asked a boy. "From the point of view of Naruto, it is my personal philosophy that this power must be used to help others, bring on and to protect the weak, and never to seek conflict. That is my Ninu." "Okay dad, we will show you that we will be the best Ninu users in the world." And soon the lessons began, and Naruto kept dreaming about those lessons. But this time he wasn't the only one that was looking at those dreams. "It can't be possible," Karam said from within his cage. The last few days he had been feeling something that he couldn't understand, but for some reason feel familiar, so he had begun to use what little chakra he could use while still being a one, trying to get whatever information he can. It was in that moment he managed to get in contact with that feeling that he saw the face that he believed he would never see again. "Father," Kurama exclaimed as he was trying to find an explanation for what he is seeing. "There is no mistake, that is my faith." But how does this brat know about him? How if his image was lost centuries ago, so no stupid human should know how he looks? But there was no mistake, he was looking at his father, and he knew because he remembers those memories. However, from his father's point of view, because he allowed him and his blings to see, can feel what he felt from the outside world. Wait a minute, point of view, that is everything that he is seeing come from the point of view of that Ashur boy. After that it was easy to Kurum to understand what is happening. So this boy is the reincarnation of Asura. Well, that is interesting. And it could be worse than him. He could be the reincarnation of that insolent brat Indra. The first guess that this makes us family somehow. For the moment it would be for the best that I wait and see what will happen a few days later. "Okay, now let get started," exclaimed the blonde hero as he sees a big tree in front of him. He now knew the instructions to accomplish this exercise that he had seen other kids practice with great determination. Be put one foot on the tree and slowly began to walk up the tree. For some reason this feels natural, thought Naruto as he was halfway to the top. That's when a new set Images of a gray-skinned man with a third eye in the front teaching two boys broke his concentration and made him fall. However, with a new set of images came the instinct to kick the tree to make distance from the tree and turn his body 180 degrees and land on his feet. What is happening to me? Naruto said. As he put his hands over his eyes, well, he was happy that he was getting stronger. He was also afraid because he didn't know what was happening to him. However, he knew one thing: this was his only chance to become strong. To get out of his situation, he had to keep training, and so he stood up and kept Ining time. Skip Academy Classroom. Hinata PAAV. For the next few weeks, the friendship between Naruto and Hinata increase in closeness thanks to the assistance of teachers. No one wanted to get close to them. That was something that didn't bother them, as were used to be marginalized even by the people around them. It happened in the second month of the current school year after the beginning of the class, and Naruto and Hinata had began to spend all their free time together. Ever since Naruto saved her from those bullies all those years ago, she had always felt bad about how her guardian took her way. Or she could thank him for his help, or even check to see if he was fine after the beating that he got from those bullies. That is why when she saw him in the academy entry ceremony and learned that they will be in the same class, she was very happy. She believes that she will have the chance to thank him this time, but her shyness made that impossible for her. Things became more complicated when she saw how her classmates and teachers treat him. That brought bad memories of how her family treats her. However, unlike her, Naruto never allowed himself to give up and pity himself. He always stands back up. People tell him he should stay down. No matter how many times he fails, he always gets back up and keep trying. Ever since she started following him, hoping to find the source of his strength, this was because she was rather shy, much too shy to ask him directly, so this was what she had to do for now. But she saw impressed her as she saw Naruto keep training even after class, always trying to succeed where he had failed. That is how her following Naruto became a habit. In the last year, she noticed that as his skills begun to grow, so did her admiration for Naruto. The day was no different. He had been practicing the tree climbing chakra exercise again like the last few days. This is something that she knew because it was part of the Wa clan training. In her clan, they were taught chakra control exercises and other techniques from the moment they could walk, so she knew how hard it could be, even more so if you didn't have any help. However, seeing how Naruto managed to improve by his own effort was something amazing to her. Oh, how I wish that I could be like you, Naruto. It was in that moment when she saw him lose his footing and began to fall, but he, instead of falling to the ground clumsily, he turned his body 180 degrees midair and landed on his feet. Amazing was all that she could say. When Naruto left, she decided to leave as well. When she arrived home that night, her father called her useless. He told her guardian, whose name is Kurai, that she could do what she wants with Hinata, that she was too weak to be clan Harem. At night, she cried alone. She wanted to go to her mother, but since her mother was extremely sick, she didn't want to cause her any more trouble. The next day, she didn't go to the academy, and instead she went to Nut's hidden training spot, the place that Naruto goes, and sat under the same that he had used to practice the last day. The words of her father and every bad experience that she has been repeated over and over in her head. She didn't know how long she had been there, or how long had been since the rain began. She just wanted to disappear. She felt like her life was a pitch black hell, and just as she felt the darkness consuming her, at that moment a ray of light and hope arrived. Hey, you are that girl that sits behind me? A familiar voice asked, one that she knew too well. When her face rose, she saw Naruto right in front of her. He was drenched from the rain, however she could see that he was looking her over in concern. Are you okay? You didn't come to the academy today? Naruto asked, his voice carrying his emotions. I didn't know what to do. I am sorry for taking your training place. Hinata said, forget about that. While you were crying? Naruto asked, more concerned with why she was crying than her taking up his training ground. I want to disappear. Maybe if I did that, then my family would be happier, Hinata confessed to Naruto. Naruto looked at her with a serious expression, then he sat next to her. Even though it was raining, for a moment he didn't say anything. He just sat next to Can you tell me what happened? Naruto finally asks. His question surprises Hinata because no one besides her mother had ever shown any interest in her. Now the boy she admires since he rescued her that day from those three bullies was concerned for her and even wanted to know about her troubles, so he began to tell her about the problems that has arisen from her mother being sick to how the clan treated her. She even told him about how earlier her father told her that she was useless. She told him everything that had been building up after he had just heard her story. He said something that surprised her. Then why don't you just show them that they are wrong about you? I know how it feels when the people around you are mean to you and just want you to disappear. You can hope that things will change, but it won't unless you make them change. That is why I trained to change my worth. If the people around you didn't like that, then don't pay them any attention. Become the person that you want to be. At least it is the way I see things and am striving for myself, Naruto said, looking at her with determination filling his eyes. Hinata, hearing Naruto's words, was inspiring and beautiful. The fact that it was Naruto who said it made them all the more special. I think we should find a drier place to continue our conversation. It seems like the storm is getting stronger, Naruto suggested as he stood up and offered his hand to help her stand up, which Hinata accepted, but she slipped, making Naruto fall with and in the process their lips met, giving each other their first kiss by accident. They remained like that for a few seconds in shock before reacting. I am sorry, I didn't mean to do that, Naruto said, worrying she would hate him now. Honestly, the way he was treated, it wasn't far-fetched. It is okay, it was my fault in the first place, Hinata said, trying her hardest not to faint as she placed her fingers to her lips. Naruto decided to take her to the old mask temple where they waited for the rain to stop. Well, they waited. They kept talking about everything. Naruto, this is the first time he has spoken to anyone about the dreams that he had at night and the situation with his life. For Hinata, it was the first time she told anyone else about her life in the Huguk clan. Along with her parents, having a person to tell your problems and understand what you felt began to make big differences in their lives. Soon they started to train together. That day the two became friends and agreed to train together every day that they had free time, something the other students and the teachers saw. They even tried telling Hinata that she must stay away from that boy, something that she refuses to do. After that, they started ignoring her. When Naruto asked her if she was fine with that, she only said, they never cared for me or were my friends before, so why should I abandon my only true friend to please some strangers? It was during this time training together that Nut's dreams proved to help tremendously when he saw adult version of the men with white yukata and red armor teaching people breathe. Hanaton, just breathe, allow your breathing be the same as the trees that are around us. Feel the beating of your heart and how it synchronizes with the nature around us. Can you feel it? Naruto instructed as he repeated the same words that he heard those men said in his dreams. Yes, I can feel it, said Hinata. She had been happy when she trained with Naruto. It was the first time she's been truly happy since her mother had gotten sick. She didn't know how to explain it. For some reason, everything that Naruto taught her felt was easier to understand than all the lessons her father had given her before he had dismissed her training. It was like she felt complete after she met him, and the feeling that she was having in that moment was so warm that for a few moments she fell asleep. She had a dream about a very strong woman that wears a beautiful white kimono and has beautiful long red hair. She saw that she never gives up, how she was kind with her loved ones and terrible with her enemies, but more than anything how she fought side by side with her husband, a man in red armor that for some reason reminded her of Naruto. They were fighting against a giant fox with many tools. Thean, wake up, Naruto said as he gently shakes her shoulder. Wake her up. Sorry, I fell asleep, Naruto-kun, Hinata replied, ashamed that she fell asleep in the presence of her friend when he was trying to help her. Something her father stopped trying long time ago. Don't worry about it, it happened to me a lot with Iruka sensei's boring classes. I guess I am no better than him. Besides, it is getting late and you should return to your home soon, Naruto said, glad she was awake. So the two of them began to walk until the border of the training ground. Even though they were friends, Naruto knew the adults didn't like him. If they saw them together they would be rude to Hinata as well. For that reason Naruto would always stop before the entrance so he can leave in the other direction so the villagers wouldn't see them together. Even though Hinata said Hachi didn't mind, he didn't want to cause problems for his only friend, but I guess that it is everything for today, but we can train here again tomorrow after class if you want, asked Nudo to his friend. I would like that, Hinata replied as she began to walk toward her home. Wait, before you go, I just happened to find this flower and I want to give it to you, that is if you like, said Nudo as he shows her a beautiful dark blue orchid. Nudo had heard from some of the girls in the academy that girls like when boys give them flowers as a present, so he wanted to give her something that she would like even if he didn't understand what made the flowers special. He knew that Hinata is having a bad time at home with her mother being very sick, so he wanted to do something for her. Hinata, for her part, was very surprised because she has never suspected that her best friend would give her this beautiful flower, so she accepted the flower and treasured the beautiful orchid. Thank you, Naruto. It is beautiful, Hinata said as she thanked her friend one more time as she began to walk towards her home, while Naruto, who now has a big smile on his face, he was happy that Hinata licked the orchid. He considered that he should spend more time studying plants and flowers so he could find the meaning to the flowers and make his friend happy. Look what we have here, a voice exclaimed behind them. When they turned to see who it was, they recognized the three as the bullies Naruto had saved Tata from when they had met. However, unlike last time when they were all just kids, this time those three were wearing Koha's headband. They were Janine. I see that the freaks like to be together, said another of the bullies. What do you want? Naruto asked the three. Nothing, we were just taking a walk and saw you two and said why we don't go and teach those losers a lesson just like before, the leader said as he smugly smirked by. We didn't do anything to you, Naruto demanded, and who cares about that? It's just because you exist, that is enough reason, the leader answered as the three of them surrounded Nudo and Hinata. Seeing that the situation wasn't a good one, Naruto looked at Hinata. He turned to her and said, Hinata-chan, I will try to hold them down. Use that chance to escape, but what about you? Hinata asks, concerned over her only friend. I will be fine, you just escape when I give you the signal, Nudo answers. He didn't want her to get hurt. He didn't care if they hurt him as long as she was okay. No, said Hinata as she looks at Nudo with a serious look. I was forced to leave you behind when you saved me last time because my guardian refuses to help you. I always regretted that and I refuse to abandon you again. Hinata finishes a fierce look on her face. Nudo was surprised by Hinata's words. No one has ever said anything like that to him before. It was in that moment he recognized what she was talking about. So you were that girl, he said, surprised that he had indeed met her again. If you losers are done talking, it is time for the fun. The leader as he ran towards Naruto and hit him in the face. Naruto fell on the ground hard as he tried to stand up, but the difference between him and Enin was too big. Nudo exclaimed Hinata as she runs towards Nudo to help him. It is in that moment that one of the bullies hit her from behind and made her fell as well. Naruto hurries to stand up to help her only to be hit again and fell next to Hinata. For a moment I believed that you would give us more fun than this, but in the end you are only a couple of losers, said the leader as he kicks Naruto in the stomach, knocking the wind out of him. Leave him alone, said Hinata as she tries to help Nudo only to receive a kick in the face and fell once again with tears coming from her eyes. Stay down, you wide-eyed freak. But then something happened when Naruto saw Hinata getting hurt, a feeling of a fire that was born deep inside his soul. It was in that moment that some of those images appeared once again in his mind. Burrito's mind began. It was the man with red armor and he was looking at how three Janine were fighting 2 versus 1. It wasn't long before the boy that was fighting alone was hit and fell to the ground again, said the man in red armor with a big smile. But Hashiramaisen say this is not fair. It is 2 versus 1. Weren't you the one that said that you could defeat an army alone? Horizon asked the girl of the group. That is true, said a boy that was using glasses. Pisson, you need to understand that real fights are never fair. Why? Oh, you can't expect that your enemies will want to face you in a 1 versus 1 battle. They will want to have the advantage in the same way that you need to always look to have the advantage in a fight. That is why we train to fight in the circumstances. But how can I win when I am facing multiple enemies? Ask the boy named Herzan. You turn the fight from 1 versus many to a 1 versus 1 by making sure that each time you hit the enemy that he stays down and never allow them to use their numbers to surround you, explained Hashirama, the man in red armor. But how can I do that? Asked Hen. I will teach you How and believe it or not, the key is to have a good footwork, Hashem said, smiling at his young pupil. Back to the present, all those memories that felt like ours were no more than a couple of seconds in the real world, but this time Naro has a look in his eyes that shows that something was different. A member, Naro said as he stands up in a jump and put himself in an angle where two of the bullies were in a line. So you want more, said the leader as he got ready to kick Naruto again, but this time it was different because this time he saw how that bully raised his pants a little in the right leg somehow. Knowing that he will be using that leg to kick him in the next second, so he anticipates that move and using his left foot he blocks that attack, and in a bike move using the energy of the move he kicked the bully right between the legs. The bully groaned as he was about to fall on his knees on Lee to meet Nutke elbow in the face. With that final attack he was out of combat. Naruto took advantage of the surprise and moved towards the boy that was behind the leader. The bully was surprised, but when he saw how the boy that they were bullying was getting closer, he regained his nerve, so he tried to punch him in the face, but the blonde boy used his right hand to redirect that punch to the other side, leaving him open to an attack, an opportunity that Naruto took and with his left hand punch him in the solar plexus, driving the air from him. Now there was only one bully left, but that bully was the one that had hurt Hinata, and he will pay for that. The last bully, seeing he was the last one standing, tried to escape. However, Naruto picked up a rock and he launched it, and the rock hit the last bully in the leg, making him fall. He tried to stand up, but this time he could feel Nutke foot on his back, making pressure. You like to hit girls on the faces, don't you? Asked Naruto as he moves in front of him, but when you face someone in a one-on-one fight you run like a coward. Maybe what you need to know what it feels like, so you know never do the same again, Naruto said, and then he kicked him in the face, which br oak his nose. Tell everybody about this, said the leader as he was beginning to recover at 3 New Gen and lost against a second-year academy student, and that you also attacked the Hyuga clan head's daughter. Please be my guest now. If you do not have anything else to do, remember this and leave us alone, because the next time I will get serious, Naruto said, glaring at the down bullies. The 3 bullies saw that they couldn't win this and chose to leave as Naruto walked towards where Hinata was on the ground, where she saw everything. The not a chance, said Naruto as he kneels in front of her and risks his hand and touched the part of her lip that was cut and was bleeding from the kick that she received. But when the moment he touched her, green chakra came from his hand, healing her in the moment. I am sorry, this always happened to me when the villagers blame me for anything. I am used to this, but I do not want you to get hurt because of me. I believe that it would be for the best if I stay away from you, Naruto said, and inside he felt like he was dying. He didn't want to lose his only friend, but he knew it was for the best. After all, if he remained around her she would get hurt and it would be his fault. He definitely did not want that, and with that Naruto stood up and turned around to leave that place, trying to hold back his tears about how he would have to leave his only friend in order to protect her. But then she holds his hand. Please don't leave him out of pleads, but if we remain friends, NGS like this may happen again, and I do not want to see you get hurt because of me. Naruto rebuts, I don't care, you are my only friend and I do not want to lose you. I know that I am weak, but I promise that I will become stronger, so you do not have to worry about me. Just please do not leave me, begged Hinata with tears in her eyes. For some reason the seeing Han's tears was something that he couldn't take. K had to do something about that. Are you sure that you will not regret this, he asked, trying to give her an out. Part of him wishing she would leave, but another part of him wanted her to remain. Nave. I told you before, I will never abandon you, Hinata answers firmly. At those words Naruto smiles because he knew that Hinata was a true friend, a friend that he will treasure always. Okay, we better keep going or you will worry your mom, Naruto said. By the way, when did you learn medic ninjutsu, Hinata asked curiously about that. I don't know how to explain it. Do you remember the dreams that I told you about? And with that the two of them leave the training area. It was afternoon and we find a young girl walking alone towards the Hyuga complex. She had a thoughtful expression that would look strange on someone so young. The young girl had lavender pupilless eyes, long brown hair, and a fair complexion. This girl's name was Hanabi Hyuga. Hanabi Hyuga is a prodigy of the Hyuga clan's main house, one that some of the Hyuga elders hoped would one day surpass Neji Hyuga of the branch house. All the clan expects great NGS for her, but does Hanabi want that? Is something even she did not know. Her beloved older sister Hinata was always so kind to her. Even after the fight for succession of the clan, she always took time to have fun with her and even spent time with their sick mother and made her smile despite feeling ill. Unfortunately, since that fight their father forced them to have, she didn't know how to face Hinata again. She felt she stole her place in the clan and her destiny. At least it is how she feels, and now she is afraid that her sister hates her, and for that reason it was hard to be close to her. For that reason she tries to avoid her sister, with the exception of when they see their mother. Then they try to show their mother that they are happy, if only to make their mother happy. After that she could see how sad her sister was and how bad the other members of the clan treated her. She hated herself for being too afraid to talk to her sister again, to be close like they used to be in the last few months. However, she had changed. She has more energy and is more active. Not only that, but there is a light in her eyes that showed how her older sister was doing just fine and how happy she was. She was Jew saint like she used to be. No, that wasn't quite right. She looked a lot better than before, but she wondered why and what changed. Don't get her wrong, she was happy to see that her sister is doing fine, but at the same time she was curious, mostly because that change happened too soon and her young mind didn't understand what could have happened. Now that the academy is on holidays, she was hoping that maybe this time she could finally get the courage to talk with her, but her sister always leaves the clan complex early and returns late afternoon. When she returns, she always looked tired but happy. Something good must have happened to her, and she wanted to know what it was. She was hoping that maybe that would help restore their relationship as to what it used to be and still should be. She was, however, afraid, much too afraid to ask, so she did the only thing that she could do. One day that she didn't have training with her father that morning, she followed her sister, but she saw surprised her more than anything had before. She follows Hinata to a training ground in the farther part of the park where Hinata meets a boy with blonde hair and blue eyes. She remembers seeing the boy on the streets with the other villagers glaring at him. She also remembered how her guardian told her to always stay away from him, but now her beloved sister was not only in that boy's company, but she was smiling, a large beaming smiling that the boy returned. They sat in front of each other in a meditation pose, and because of the distance and she didn't want to reveal her location, she couldn't hear what they were saying. They remained like that for a while, and when Hanabi was about to leave, she saw them stand up. After a few moments of stretching and warming up, the two got in their stances. It was obvious that were about to spar with each other. She was surprised at the level of skill and power her sister was showing. Hanabi thought that those attacks in form was of the same level of their cousin Niji. The way she attacks the blonde and how she avoids and blocks his attacks, it was amazing. Both of them were simply so amazing. After a while she saw how Hinata managed to kick the boy in the stomach, winning the spar, but that match only made her wonder, if Hinata Onasan is this strong, then why did she lose the day of the duel? That was the only thought that occupied her young mind as she walked home. She would have liked to stay longer, but that was impossible as she needed to head home for her afternoon training session. She knew she would have to either further spy on them or ask her sister UPF front. She did not know what she should do. Back with Naruto and Hinata at the beginning of their day, Virata T's day promises to be a good one. After all, it will be the first day in the midterm holidays. That means that she will be spending every day beginning to end with Naruto. She didn't bother to explain where she would be to her clan because they never asked for her. However, she always made sure that she would be back home to have tea with her mother and sister. The tea time was something that was special between them. She leaves the complex and in a few moments she was already in their training ground. Naruto was there already and was waiting for her. Hi Hinata-chan, are you ready for today training? Naruto asked, smiling at her. Good morning Naruto, and of course Hinata replied, eyes smiling back. Great, now let's begin. As always, Naruto said as he sits down in a lotus pose with Hinata doing the same. Do you remember what we had talked about in our last training? He asked. About chakra being everywhere. Hinata replies, yes, chakra exists everywhere in this world of connecting all living things. That is why it should be possible to connect each other's chakra, but to do that we first need to master our own chakra. Naruto explained, confusing Hinata. That sounds different from what Iruka sensei told us. Hinata Ta said, wondering what he was talking about. I know, but that is what that strange man from my dreams was telling those kids. To be honest, I don't fully understand it myself. However, so far the things that I have learned in those dreams hadn't failed me. Naruto replied. Hinata only nodded. Normally, if Somio Nay would tell her that they were learning from strange people that show up in their dreams, she wouldn't believe it since it was Naruto. However, that is different because that is the only way that she could explain not only his fast advancement and training but also how he knew how to teach and train others. Now let's begin our training for today. We should try to strengthen our chakra but at the same time try to feel the chakra that is already around you. Naruto instructed. Yes, Naruto, Hinata exclaimed and began to focus on your chakra a little at first, just like the fire from a mat. And then let it grow inside you. Can you feel it? Naruto asked. Yes, Hinata replied. Now, while keeping that fire inside you, try to feel the chakra around you and then lead it towards the chakra that is inside you and allow it grown inside you. He further instructed. It is too difficult to do, Hinata said. Trying his suggestion. I know, but even if it is too hard, we must begin somewhere and then advance one step at the time. But you know what, even if it takes us years to do that, we will be doing it together, Naruto reassured. The two friends continued doing that exercise for an hour and then they move to the next part of their training, sparring. As the two of them got ready and then began to train, Naruto noted something. Hinata, are you holding back again? Naruto questioned, but it carried an undertone of being an accusation. Hinata just remained in silent, giving it away since she couldn't lie. Hinata, you can't keep doing that, Naruto said in exasperation. But I do not want to hurt anyone, Hinata explained, trying to defend her actions. I know, but you will hurt them even more if you hold back, he reasoned. Hinata now has a concerned look on her eyes. What do you mean? She asked, trying to figure out whether or no she's been unintentionally hurting those close to her. Hinata, tell me how you would feel if I hold back while we are sparring, Naruto asked, and the look on Hinata's face when she looks down was all the answer that Naruto needs. He continued his explanation by saying, Hinata, if we hold back we will be stopping the growth and improvement of our sparring partners and ourselves. We are training to be ninjas. It will be a cruel world and our best hope to survive is to get better every day. To do that we must give our best in every training session, not only for ourselves but for the friends that are training. Hinata was amazed with Naruto's personality. One moment he was a funny kid with lots of energy and the next moment he shows a maturity beyond the adults that she knows, only to return to being the same boy that has become her first real friend. Even if we get hurt we will get better in a little while and stronger in the long run. So Hinata, if you really care about me, come at me with everything that you got and then try to break that limit. Naruto finished. He could see that she was thinking about and considering his words. But what if I am not strong enough, just as my clan said? Hinata asked. Sadly, you must stop worrying about being exactly what your clan wants you to be and begin to focus on what you can be by yourself. I am sure that you will be even more amazing than what you would ever dream. Just believe in yourself because I sure believe in you, Naruto replied, trying to alleviate our stress and sadness. Hearing his words, Hinata blushed a little, but then with a determined look in her eyes she got ready. Gon, Hinata said with confidence and then asked, are you ready? Naruto, I born ready, Naruto exclaimed before getting in his starting position. But that they once again began to spar. With each movement Hinata's stance began to change. You could still see the traditional Wajin stance when it hit, but Hinata's version is more relaxed and agile. She no longer seemed to care about keeping the image that her clan expected her to keep. In doing so she began to release her TINCTS and relied on them. In doing so her movements had become faster and faster each second until she finally lands a kick on Nutke's stomach that sent him flying and he landed on his back. For a moment she was scared that she may have hurt him and now hated her. Whoa, that was amazing, Hinata. I knew that you were super strong, but not that you were to this level, Naruto excitedly said with a smile on his face as he stands up. He continued by saying, I guess that now I need to improve my Taj Jutsu if I want to be a good sparring partner for you. By the way, what were those moves that you did? You or Alred Why an amazing sparring partner Naruto underscore underscore, and to be honest I didn't know I just let myself go and relied on my instincts Hinata explained thinking about what just happened when she finally let go well you should do it more often and not only in your ninja training do it in everything because this free Hinata is amazing Naruto said clearly excited and wanting to see what this version of his best friend would be like what she could do those words made their way right to Hinata's soul no one has ever motivated her and encouraged her as Naruto did it also helped to know that she will not be looked down for just being herself made her see herself in a new light are you ready for round 2 Naruto asked getting back in position yes Naruto-kun Hinata replied doing the same and so they began to second round and then a third one and a fourth one all of them with a nod of winning that as they continued to spar got she more confident Naruto for his part each time that he fell a new set of memories flashed before his eyes showing new forms and moves however just because he could see them it didn't mean that he could master them in the moment still he was getting better at passing each moment. While they sparred at noon they took their lunch and talked about everything and nothing at all just enjoying the moment after that they keep practicing for a few more hours until it was time for Hinata to return to the clan complex I have to go now my mom must be waiting for me Hinata said feeling tired and a bit sad to leave well I will see you tomorrow Hinata-chan Naro replied a bit sad that she's leaving however he understood and knew he would see her tomorrow but before I leave I have to give you something Hinata said as she took a packet from her backpack when Naruto saw what it is he rose his eyebrow in confusion the book Naruto asked curiously yes is the academy textbook that we need to have to do our middle term holiday homework you said that you don't have one she explained and hoping he would take it yes I tried to get it but it was too expensive and the old lady of the library always said that all the copies are borrowed Naruto explained after he realized what she meant but this is just an academy book it shouldn't be that expensive Hinata replied not understanding why it would be expensive that is what they told me but are you sure that you can lend me this book one UG in trouble because of that Naruto asked not wanting his friend to get in trouble that is okay there are many like that one in the clan library and you need it to do the assignment on the Hokage she reassured after hearing this Naruto went silent for a moment while he was thinking thanks a lot Hinata-chan and do not worry I promise that I will return this book in the same state that you give it to me Naruto said and with that they said their goodbyes and then went their separate ways but Hinata when Hinata arrived at her clan's complex she took a quick shower and moved to her mother's room she will have tea with her mother and sister like they always do mother can I come in Hinata asked of course honey a gentle voice said from inside when she entered she saw that her sister Hanabi already was there sitting in front of her mother with a private nurse that is always behind her how was your day honey her mother asked smiling at her oldest daughter it was FNOAS Sama Hinata replied taking her seat oh I had told you that you do not need to be formal when we are alone honey her mother said yes mother Hinata replied you know that Hanabi and I were talking about what we see old do during these holidays I am sorry that because of my state we can't go to any place to have a vacation trip her mother says feeling guilty do not worry about that mom we like to be with you even like this said Hanabi but I feel that I am letting you down their mother once again says guilt fill Linger he will never let us down mother no matter what happens we will always be happy to be with you Hinata reassured her mother took that moment to see her older child with a smile you have changed and in a good way I wonder what is the cause of that change did something good happen to you her mother asks at those words Hinata remains silent wondering if she should tell her the truth could it be that you meet someone her mother asks Hinata began to blush giving it away would that person be a boy her mother continues now Hinata faces was a deep breath and she began to play with her finch her mother smiled at her reaction I have a great idea why don't you introduce me to your friend her mother asked but mom the rules about visitors say that and replies but don't worry about that I will have Naomi-chan here make sure that he has no problem getting in her mother interrupts are you sure mom Hinata asks feeling nervous about all this of course I want to meet my little princess's friend tell you what why don't you bring him here tomorrow when you get home so he can join us her mother answered smiling at her daughter Hinata was worried because even if she knew that Her wouldn't have any problem with Naruto-kun's presence. She knew that the rest of the clan will not be happy. Then again, she couldn't say no to her mom's request. She probably wouldn't be allowed to see her best friend again. In that case, I will invite him tomorrow, Hinata said in resignation, knowing there was no way to prevent her escape. That is great. I will have all your favorite snacks waiting for you, her mother said excitedly. And so they keep taking for an hour, but then their time together ended. Anand-sama, Hanabi-sama, I am afraid that it is time for Ain-sama's medicine then, and she need to rest, Naomi said after they exchange goodbyes. They leave their mother room, and Anand Hanabi asked after they leave the room. Yes, Hanabi-chan, Hinata asked in surprise that her sister is talking to her like she used to. I just want to say that you look great lately, Hanabi said as she quickly speeds up in the other direction, leaving Hinata wondering what just happened back in their mother's Akane's room. Are you sure that it is a good idea, Ain-sama, to bring an outsider to the clan complex? Naomi asked. It is just a kid, but more importantly, you were with me when the doctor gives me my last test resu. LTS, weren't you? Ain replied. Naomi lowered her face and nodded a little. I am living on borrowed time, and I could leave this world at any moment. Before that happens, I want to do things that a mother is supposed to do, and especially with a boy that is helping my little girl when I can't do anything, Ain explained sadly. I understand, but wouldn't it be better to spend your time alone with Hayashi-sama and the girls? Naomi asks. He is afraid about what is happening to me, and for that fear he is making terrible mistakes. However, unfortunately, I no longer have the strength to help him overcome this. Morosely says, wishing she could do more for her family. In Naro apartments, Nudo has finished preparing his instant ramen cup he is having for dinner. He was tired after today's training and he just wanted to finish that boring homework so he can return that book as soon as he can. He was sure that he could do it all in one night. After all, how hard can it be to do a stupid report about the previous Hokages? He sits in front of his old table and opened the book to see the same pictures that Iruka-sensei used to give his class. He began with the fourth Hoka. Ever since he saw his picture, he realized that they looked alike. He began to wonder if maybe he was his dad. He knew that all the orphan kids dreamed that their parents were famous heroes, or that they were in a faraway and dangerous mission had to leave them in Koha. However, if the four Hokage really was his father, it would mean that he see and be with him like all the other fathers with their kids, because he died as a hero saving the village. That all the things that he had been hearing since the orphanage about how his parents were monsters that abandoned him and criminals and many others mean things were just lies. So gathering his he raised his hand and asked Ruka-sensei if the Hokage was married or in a relationship with someone or even had a child. He knew that some parents have kids without being married, also hoping to learn more about him and maybe learn if there was a woman that could be his mom, but the answer to he got broke that dream. As far as I know, he was married, but his wife died in the Kaui attack along with many others, but he never has the chance to have a child. Aruka had answered his question. Of course he doesn't, and he feels so stupid to have that little ray of he knew from the beginning that was impossible, because if he really was a Hokage's son, even as an orphan, the villagers wouldn't have treated him the way they did. He moved to the next page and he saw the old Hok. He already knew him because from time to time he came to give him some money. He read some more stuff about him before he moves to the next page, and that is when the things began to get weird. Once he saw the face of the second Hok, Naruto felt a sense of deja vu. That face, I have seen it before, but where? Naruto keeps reading about him, his achievement, and with each thing that he read, the deja vu that he has got stronger. But when he read that he was the younger brother of the first Hokage, he jumped to that page. What he saw froze him in his spot. It can't be, Naruto exclaimed when he saw the picture of the first Hokage. He immediately recognizes him as one of the people that he saw in his dreams. Then he realizes that as he recognized the second Hokage. He was with the first Hokage in those dreams. So far he didn't know what to think about those dreams because he didn't know who those peoples were. However, now he had recognized one of them and it was the first Hokage. He didn't understand how that was possible, but in that moment that didn't matter. What mattered is that somehow he was seeing the first Hokage on his way to become a legend, and if he paid more attention he could turn out to be as amazing as he was. That night he read all that he could about Hashar Reinu. Oh man, he can't wait to tell Hinata about The next morning Nudo got early to the training ground. He could hardly keep his excitement in check. Last night he read all that the book had about the first Hokage, which included his battles, victories, hardships, just everything the book could offer him. He was deeply impressed by the man, though or important is that he read that he had a unique power that would release mutton. At first he didn't understand what was so great about making trees grow and controlling the wood, but when he read the things that he could do with the wood he was impressed. Now all that he need to do is learn who is the There guy that appears in his dreams. That is why he wanted to talk with Hinata. Maybe she could lend him another book that has pictures of legendary ninjas, and who knows, maybe that other guy will be one of them. So while he was waiting for Hinata, he took one of the seeds that he found on his way here. ND began to focus on it, but to his disappointment nothing happened. Ah man, how he could do all what book said he could do. Nudo asked himself as he tries again with the same result. After a few more tries he chose to try to add some chakra, but still nothing happened. What are you doing, Nudo? Hinata asked from behind him. You scare me, Hinata-chan, Naruto exclaimed while trying to calm his heart rate. Sorry, but I was calling you and you didn't respond me anyway. What you were doing? That you hear me, Hinata replied. You won't believe what I find out last night thanks to you, Naruto said excitedly. And so Nudo told her what he learned the last night. And Abi has the day off as her father must attend some clan's business all day. Lately he had been busy all the time. For a moment she thought about following her sister one more time, but she decided against that. She didn't know what to think about she saw yesterday. Hinata Onasan was amazing, but why did she lose again? Me, if she was this strong, could it be that she lets me win? Thought Hanabi, not liking the fong that she has in her belly when she considered that possibility. Or it could be that that blonde boy did something to help her become this strong. I can't get it. What is happening? She continued thinking. She was getting frustrated by the situation as well as the fact that she didn't know what to think. Later the day has advanced and now it was time for Hinata to return home. However, this time she wasn't alone and looks nervous. Are you sure that they will let me in? Naruto asked, feeling anxious. My mom said that she will make sure that there will be no problem, Hinata replied as they walked to the compound. But what about the rest of your clan? You know that the adults don't like me, Naruto asked. He was deeply worried about how this could turn out. They will not defy my mom orders, Hinata simply answered in a matter-of-fact tone. But they still will not like me, Naruto says sadly. The Hinata remained silent, knowing that what Naruto said was true. But I was really surprised when you told me that one of the men in your dreams is the first Hok, Hinata said, trying to change the topic. I mean I never even knew that he was a Hokage until I saw his picture in that book, but it was him from when he was a kid all the way to his days as an adult, Nudo replied, remembering what he read and how surprised he was. But how is that you see him in your dreams? Hinata asked when Naruto told her that one of the men that he had been seeing in his dreams was the first Hokage. She believed him not because of their friendship or loyalty to him, but because she just felt it was true. I don't know, I only have those dreams when I am sleeping. Oh, and Reem. That time with those bullies when the leader hit me, I saw the first Hokage teaching some kid some of his moves and somehow I feel that I could do it, Naruto answered. That is amazing, Naruto-kun, Hinata said in awe of her best friend. And so they kept talking until they were in front of the Hyuga Lex. Nudo looks nervously to the two guards who were looking at him with a cold look in their eyes but said nothing. As Naomi showed up, she also looks at Nudo with that same look. She didn't say anything as she leads them to the room where Hinata's mother and sister were waiting for them. Hello, nice tea. Oh, meet you, young man. I am H's mom, Ain Huka, and this is my younger child, Hanabi, Ain said from her wheelchair. Nice to meet you, Nudo nervously said. He never liked to be close to adults, they are always mean to him. Oh, you don't have to be so nervous. After all, I was the one that wanted to meet Han's friend. Ain tried to soothe the boy. Why, he replied, trying to understand. No one wanted to meet him, so why did she? I suppose it's just natural for a parent to want to meet their kids' friends, Ain answered. I don't have parents, so I wouldn't know, Naruto replied in a sad tone. That answer made Ain, Hanabi and ever Hinata feel bad for him. I just wanted to thank the boy that is making my little Hinata happier in these days, Ain said after a moment. Mom, Hinata said while blushing. It is okay, honey, I am just complimenting him, Ain said with a tired smile. Mom, are you okay? You look tired, Hanabi asked. Concerned, I am fine honey, just a little tired, AK answered her youngest daughter. Maybe I should leave so you can rest, Naruto offered. He was nervous to be in this situation and had no clue what to say or do. Don't worry, beside I am curious about you and want to learn more about you, Ain denied, and so Ain began to ask little questions like how they met, for how long have they been friends, and what they do when they are together, the normal kinds of stuff that a mother would ask. All this was a new experience for Naruto, that an adult would talk to him without calling him demon and try to keep their children away from him. But there was something wrong, because even he could see that Hinata's mom didn't look too well. Naruto, I want to thank you for being Hinata's friend, and I hope that your friendship can continue for many years, because I can see how happy and strong she has been since she met you. Ain said tiredly. That will be no problem, because Hinata is my best friend and we will always be together and will help each other with anything that may happen. Naruto replies, though he was concerned. Ain-sama, I am afraid that is time for your treatment. Naomi said, it is a shame, I really wanted to keep talking with you, but I have to leave now. Please enjoy the candies and feel free to ... That was all that Ain could say as she collapses to the floor as she lost consciousness. Mommy, were the screams of Hinata and Hanabi, but her mother didn't respond. I will get help, you stay here, Naomi or Dured. After she confirmed that her mistress was still breathing, Mommy, please wake up, Hanabi said with tears in her eyes. Mom, please, Mom, open your eyes, added Hinata, also crying as she saw how the pale face of her mother didn't react, and she began to feel the fear grown in her heart. All this was happening while Naruto was watching the events that happening before his eyes. All this had begun with nice talk with Hinata's mom, and for the first time he wasn't hated by an adult because he tried to be friends with their child. Hinata's mom looks to be as nice and gentle as Hinata, and now something terrible happened and he didn't know what to do. The fear and tears in Hinata's eyes hurt him like nothing that has hurt him before. Damn, if only there was something that I could do, Naruto said in low voice. Then an idea hit him and he thought, wait, that day with the bullies I managed to cure the injury on Hinata-chan's face, maybe I can do it again. But that idea in mind, Naruto kneels next to Ain and took her hand and began to focus chakra into it. After the event with the bullies, Hinata had told him that what he did was medic ninjutsu and that used chakra. So far he tried to do it again many times, but always FAI led. Please L this work, please L this work, please L this work, Naruto chanted in his mind. What are you doing to my mom? Hanabi demanded as she moves to stop him, but she was stopped by her sister Wan. He is trying to help our mom, please give him this chance, Hinata said. Please Naruto, I believe in you, Hinata pleaded as the blue shine of Nutke chakra began to grow, but after a few moments began to lose power. Mom, why I can't do it? Am I really this useless? Hinata-chan will lose her mom because I can't do anything right. No, not yet, Naruto said as he began to put more power into his efforts. He wasn't going to fail this time. He would save her. Inside Naruto's seal, the wave of emotions woke Kurarama from his nap after seeing what had just happened. From Nunk perspective, he smiles. Interesting, it looks that the story is repeating itself. If the story that Ashura told our father about how he met his wife is true, but this brat doesn't have the power. Help her, Kurarama said as he saw his cage. This seal is made so that if I have evil intentions towards this brat, it will cut the connection. However, if I do not have those intentions, it should be possible for me to send him some of my chakra. Normally I would NT care what happened to those humans, but if he is really sure as reincarnation, I guess that we are related and share a bond with the old man, and maybe, just maybe, he could be the one that father told us about before he dies. Kurarama concluded. Back with Naruto, Nutke chakra was about to fade. I guess I am truly useless, Naruto said in despair as he felt that he no longer has the strength to keep trying. In that moment he turns to see Hinata. He was about to said that he was sorry that he couldn't do anything, but in the moment that he saw her and how her tears were falling from her face, something happened, and in a blink of the eye Naruto was no longer in that room in the Hyuga complex. He was on a road deep in a forest, but he wasn't alone. There were other people there, and in the middle of that group it was him, the other man that also appears in his dream with the first Hokage. From there many more images began to show up, the problems that these people have, the danger of their situations, and then he saw her, a young woman that begged him to save her mother, and just as they began the images leave Naruto that now was looking at Hinata's pearl-like eyes and said, I remember. Right after he said That the chakra in his hands began grown again as it changes color from blue to a light golden color as Naruto put more efforts in what he was doing. It was in that moment that the servants began to arrive to help Ain and stood frozen when they saw what was happening. What are you doing to Ain? Demon Brad, said one of the servants as he steps forward to kick Naruto out of that room. No, exclaimed Hinata as she moves between the servant and Naruto, who was too focused on helping her mom to know what is happening around him. Anita-sama, please get out of the way, we need to remove that demon so we can help your mother, the servant pleaded with the girl. No, he is not a demon, he is my friend, and right now he is helping my mom, Hanabi yelled, standing firm. He is just a useless brat and we are wasting time here. Now please move or I will be forced to make you move, the servant demanded, losing his patience. He is not useless and I will not move from here, Hinata declared as she activates her Bakugan. So be it, I will explain this to Hiyashi-sama later, said the man as he advances to remove Hinata and Naruto out of the room. Room B. Man wasn't expecting too much resistance from Hinata, the weak child of the clan. He add that everybody believed that she would be sealed when she comes of age. That impression ended when he felt a powerful strike right to his stomach, unlike anything that he has ever felt, not even in the last war. He looks down to see how Hinata arm is making impact with him just before he is sent flying against the wall that is behind him and hit some of the other servants that were behind him. No one will stop Naruto, __. Right now he is the only one that can save my mom and I will protect him, Ada said as she took a battle stance. It was in that moment that something happened when a soft voice me from behind her. What is happening? Ain asked as she began to wake up as if from a deep sleep. Mom, said Hinata and Hanabi as they moved towards their mother that was trying to get up. What happened? Why I am on the floor? Ain asked, not yet understanding what has happened. Ain-sama, please don't push. Why ourself, Naomi said. She had managed to avoid the servants that Hinata had strike. I am fine, or at I feel far better than before, Ain said as she tries to get up to a sitting position when they saw that she was getting some troubles. For that Naomi helped her. What happened? Ain asked. You fainted, mama. While Naomi-sen went to get some help. Naruto, __, helped you, answered Hinata that was kneeling next to her mom with Hanabi at her side. After saying that, she turned to see her friend who remained still in the same place when he began to help her mother but with his face low. Naruto, __, thank you for helping my mom, Hinata said, but for some reason Naruto didn't respond to her words. Naruto, Hinata got close and when she touches his __, to see what is happening, Naruto fell unconscious. Naruto, __, Hinata exclaims, worried for him. The people gathered there began to react and the chaos began. The Ashi was running as fast as he could with a feeling of fear growing deep inside him as he gets close to his home. The reason for that is the message that a servant has managed to get to him when he was in a council meeting. The Can-S has collapsed. It looks serious. You must return to the complex, said the servant, and in the next second he was as fast as he can towards his home. He didn't bother to stop to ask what is happening to the guards and headed to the medical wing of the clan because he believed that that is where his wife would be, and he was correct. At the doors of the medical wing he could see some of his clan member gathered outside what must be his wife's room, but soon made room for him to get into the room. Those last few steps were the longest in his life, where he was waiting to see the dead face of his wife in one of the medical beds, so taking a deep breath to gather his strength so he can still keep the dignity that a clan head is supposed to have, even in the circumstances, even if all that he wanted is to cry over the death of his wife. Giving a final step, he saw, do that off me. I already told you that I am fine, so you better go and help the others to take care of Naruto. Said a furious Ain. Please, Ain-sama, the other medic is already looking at the kid and said that he only fainted because of chakra exhaustion. A young nurse tried to argue the Ashi didn't understand what is happening. Not only was his wife alive, but she looked a lot better than she did in a long time, which is strange because when he saw her before he left in the morning to that meeting, he saw how tired and weak she looked, and that hurt him, seeing how his wife, who to him was one of the strongest women he has ever seen, that she was being reduced to so a fragile state, made him feel even worse. After all, it was all his fault that she ended in that situation, but now, even if she was lying down in a nursery bed, he could see the same fire and determination that he remembered when she was younger and was with her friends Kina and Makoto. What is happening here? Asked Kashihu the very second Ain turns to see him. He knew from that look that she isn't happy to see him. He just knew he was in for it. Just giving her some instructions so she can take a better care of my guest, the young nurse, and formed his clan head. It was just a second after he heard the nurse that he turned to see the other person that is being treated in the nursery. Not only that, but Hinata and Hanabi, who were standing in the corner seeing everything. What is he doing here? Hiyashi asked coldly. He said Ain with enough strength to make sure that everybody hears her as my guest, and not only that, but he got hurt saving my life. I will make sure that he receives the best treatment available. Then she turned her eyes towards him. And you and I are going to have a serious talk about what you had been doing, she declared towards her husband. In that moment, Hiyashi realized something, that not only is his wife going to live, but that she has regained her old fire, and that would be both be good and bad for him. At night on Hanabi's room, it was late at night, but the young girl couldn't sleep. All the emotions that she has experienced today were so intense that even now she could still feel how her heart was beating like shish. Has been running for hours. She was still confused about how all this has happened, but she was certain of one thing: the miracle that she had been praying for has just happened. Many of the adults of the clan believe that she is still a little child, but she knew things that they tried to keep from her, but that she knew about. How they hope that she will be the new leader of the clan, how they had been losing prestige, how they saw her sister Hinata, but more than anything to her, how they believed that the clan will change after Ain Sama pass away. She remembers how hard she cried in her room the night that she heard a couple of talking about that they didn't see her, and she managed to leave to her room without anyone seeing the tears in her eyes. Those maids had said that they overheard the doctors of the clan talking, saying that she can die at any moment, and how sad it is seeing try to be strong and spend as much as time as she can with her children. After that, she tried to be strong for her mom, but as the days pass on and she saw how she got weaker, and she feared that the end was close, but she was a Hyuga and she need to be strong in all moment. At least it is what her fath told her. But today everything changed. The boy that her sister has said as her first real friend had done the impossible. Everything began when her sister brought her friend Naruto, that is a funny name. Her mother began to talk with him. The kid sure looked nervous, but he didn't see like a bad kid. After a while talking and drinking tea, her mom collapsed, and from that point everything seemed to move too fast. She remembers how Naomi ran outside to ask for her, how she froze in the moment, but more important, she remembered him Nudo, how he kneeled next to her mother and trying to help her. At first she tried to stop him, but her sister prevents her from do it. That I believe in him, her sister told her. She has never seen her sister so secure of anything. At first it looks like all was for nothing and that her mother would really die, but after a few minutes something happened as the chakra that was using began to change to a golden color. That color was something so beautiful that she has never seen before. She remembered how she asked her father the same day that she activated her Bakugan for the first time if the chakra that she is seeing could be of others colors besides the blue one. As she saw, their father told her, however, that is not possible, and the only way that the chakra can change of color is when the shinobi is using a jutsu. But before her eyes, Han's friend's chakra was turning to a beautiful golden color. She activated her Bakugan and saw that Naruto's chakra network was Asing some parts of it was blue, then some parts of it was red, and in the end it changed to golden. The arrival of more clan members made her come back to the present just to see how her kind sister not only faced the clan members but also hit Taka Hyuga, a veteran of the last war, and sent him flying against the wall behind him, pushing the other two clan members behind him before anyone else could do anything else. Her mother woke up, got her mother was alive and she looks better than what she had a moment ago. She ran towards her and along with Hinata she gave her the biggest hug that she could. Her sister turned to Naruto to said thank you, but then the next thing we knew he collapsed and was taken to a hospital room in the medical wing. Other things happened afterwards, but nothing is important, since now in her bed looking at the roof, every time that she closes her eyes she sees the golden chakra That has saved her mother's life when she saw her sister training with Nudo and how strong she was really surprised her, and now she is wondering if training with Nudo has that effect on her. Nudo, that blonde boy that is so different to anyone that she had met before. She now understands why her sister is so interested in him, and to be honest she was as well. I wonder if I could see that golden chakra again, said Hanabi as she finally allows the exhaustion of the day to overcome her and falls asleep. So beautiful were her last words before she fell asleep. This is a miracle, said the doctor as he Nishid his checkup on Ain. Huga, I told you I feel fine. Ain said, that's what's so miraculous. Excuse me for saying this, Ain Sama, but I wasn't expecting you to last another week. Well, your body is still weak from how long you had been sick. I see no reason for you to not make a full recovery, but it will take time, the doctor explained to the Hookah matriarch. That is great news, Mom, Hanabi said. To hear the doctor say that her mother will live, as she gave her mother a big hug. She knew that she couldn't be happier. Okasama, Hinata said, and follows her sister's example and does the same. That is how Ain and her two children celebrate the good news, the tears of happiness running freely from their eyes for Hinata and Hanabi. This means that they will not lose their mom and that they can be together. For Ain, this means a lot. She now has a second chance to be the mother that both her daughters need, as well as being able to help them become strong enough to overcome the challenges of not only the ninja life but as arises of the Huik clan, something that she is planning to change the meaning of. From the door frame she witnesses this family event, wishing that he could be part of it. However, his position as the clan head prevents him from doing so. But even if he said that he knew that it just was an excuse, the real reason why he didn't try to get closer to his family at the moment was the talk that he had with his wife the last night. Flashback. How dare you, Ain demanded of Hiashi. She had just read the servants and her daughters to take Naruto to another room so she can talk with her husband alone. They all knew better than to get in her way. Main Hiashi lamely attempts to say, but is cut off by his beyond furious wife. Silent, you have had your chance to talk to me when I asked you, even begged you to talk with me about the way that you treated our daughters, but you always used excuses and avoiding me. Now you will listen to me whether you want or not, she lectured Hiashi in a stern and cold tone. Hiashi remained silent as he saw how his wife was looking at him with a disappointed face from her wheelchair. And you know how hard it was for me to know that I was dying, that I will miss all the important parts of my little girl's life, but I tried to be brave and tell myself that you will be there for them, that you will be a good father, and that you will protect them. I see that I placed my hopes in the wrong place, Ain told her husband, her voice full of sadness and disappointment. I did what it needed to be done for the sake of the clan, Hiashi replied, repeating the same tired old excuse that he always used. You keep telling yourself that over and over, and one day you may believe that, but I know that you are scared of change, about the fact that you know that these stupid traditions are destroying the clan from inside. What happened to you? You said that one day you would change this clan for the better to honor the memory of your brother, and now you are following the me path of those old idiots. Ain countered, it has to be done that way. He tries to justify his actions. No, it does intend until you can see that. I hope that you enjoy sleeping alone. Ain ends the conversation, and with that she began to move her wheelchair passing him and went to where Hinata and Hanabi were. All Hiashi could do was watch how his wife moved away from him. He wanted to go after her and make her see his reason that he just couldn't watch her die little by little, that he was trying to make his children strong enough to resist her death and all the hardness that the future could bring. The truth, however, is that he was scared about losing her and used the situation with his daughters as an excuse to hide that fear. Now he is facing a situation that he doesn't know how to face. How can I fix the situation, thought Hiashi. Later that day we see Nudo begin to wake up, opening his eyes very slowly, only to see an unfamiliar roof. He began to try to stand up and he feels that his body feels really heavy, but he does manage to get in a sitting position in the bed. Just when he was wondering where he was, a happy voice calls his name, Naruto, __. When Naruto turns to see where the voice had come, he could see Hinata was at the door, entering the room and pushing her mom's wheelchair. However, once she sees that Nudo was awake, she hurried up to his side, leaving Hanabi with the task of pushing her mother's wheelchair. Thank you so much, Hinata kept saying over and over again as He hugs him tightly. You welcome, but it worked. Is your mother okay? Asked Nudo after he recovered from the big hug that Hinata gave him. I am fine thanks to you, Ain said. She got close to him thanks to Hanabi pushing her there while Naomi watched them from outside the room. I have to say that I am very impressed to be able to use medic ninjutsu at such a young age. Where did you learn it? Ain asked while smiling at Naruto. I have been reading some books, was Nunk answer. It wasn't technically a lie, but neither was it the truth because he had been reading books but not of medicine. Maybe he should have told her the truth, but after years of suffering at the hands of the adults of this village, he had learned to not trust too easily. She may look like a nice person and is Anat's mom, but he had just met her and he is not willing to take the risk of telling her all that he knows about his dreams. Anata foe. Her part looked at Nudo with suspicion for a moment but didn't say anything. After all, those dreams that are teaching him are Naruto's secret and she owes him for saving her mother. The Kane for her part could tell that Nudo didn't tell her all the truth. One of the benefits of being a jonin for many years is that she learned to read people, as well as the fact that Hinata seems to know what he is hiding, but she chose to not press the matter. What about the golden chakra? Asked Tabi for the first time, wanting to know more about that beautiful chakra. What gold chakra? Naruto asked, genuinely confused. The one that you used to cure my mom, added Hanabi, not believing that he didn't know about the golden chakra. But my chakra was normal, Naruto rebutted. Naruto, in the last moments before you fell unconscious, your chakra turns to a golden color for just a moment. Hinata explains, confirming he event. Really, but how is that possible? Naruto asks. I don't know, Hinata replied. Normally chakra is blue, but for it to turn a golden color even for a moment before you fell unconscious was something that I didn't know it was possible. What do you think? Okasama Hanat said and turned when she asked for her mother's opinion. I don't know, maybe with a little research we will be able to find out the reason, Ain suggested in response to her daughter. But until then, why don't you stay with us? She asked Naruto. Nudo was surprised by that offer, and for a moment he thought about the offer, but after a moment he chose to answer, I don't think that will be a good idea. Naruto answered, why not? You saved my life and this is the very least that I can do for you. Ain asked, but your clan would not be happy about me being here. Nudo replies, if I order it then they will accept it. Ain said, that is the problem. They will accept it but will not be happy about it. I see the looks that the adults give me on the streets, and I know that even if they were forced to accept me here, that they would not be happy and will look at me with the same eyes as the rest of the adults of the village, and I would prefer to at least have a place where I can go and do not have to see those eyes. Nudo confesses to her. The Kane lowers her face as she understands Nut's feelings, and she knew what he said is true. At that moment Aar could be heard and they all looked at the source of that noise. Sorry, Naruto said, a little embarrassed that they had to hear that. Don't worry, you haven't eaten anything since yesterday and you used a lot of chakra. It's only natural that you are hungry, and inviting you to nice meal is the least that I can do. Ain said, I do not want to bother. Naruto hedges. Naro, you saved my mom, you will never be a bother to me. To Usada assures, thank you. By the way, have any of you seen my backpack? Asked Nudo. I picked it up after everything calmed down. Hinata replies, thanks Hinata-chan. Naruto said, smiling slightly, but that said they headed to the room where they had met when Ain collapsed. While they were waiting for the servants to bring the food, Hinata took the opportunity to bring the his backpack. Thanks Hinata-chan, said Nudo as he opened it and removed a book from it. This is the books that you lent me. Thanks to that I could finish all my homework. Naruto explained, but why didn't you use your own? Ask Hanabi. I can't afford it and the school library will not allow me to borrow one. They said that they are only for advanced students. Naruto said, a little ashamed while looking down. Thanks to that he didn't see Matic Khan's angry expression that lasted only for a moment. You do not have to worry about books anymore because I will make sure that you have all the books that you need. Ain decided, but I don't have money. Naruto replies quickly, and I didn't ask for it. You are my benefactor. This is something small in comparison to what you did to me. Ain assured, I didn't help you because I wanted a reward. I did it because you are Hana-chan. Mom, Nudo rebutted, and that makes you even more special. I know. What about if I lend you the books and after you have read them you can return them, said Ain. Are you sure? Naruto asks. Of course, besides that will give me the chance to talk with you more when you You return those books. Ain answers, smiling at Naruto. Naruto was surprised by these words. Hinata's mom wants to see him again, but it seems that she likes his presence. This is a first for him, not trusting his voice with the emotion he was feeling. He could only nod at her suggestion, and with that the food arrived and they began to eat and keep talking. So you have been training with Hinata? That's interesting. Do you mind if I go and watch? Asked Ain. But aren't you still hurt from your condition? Asked Naruto. These right, mom, you're not ready to train again yet, added Hanabi, who said that I will be tr. Aining. I just want to get out of here for a while and get some sunlight and a change of view after all this time that I was forced to be indoors. This will be a refreshing experience. Besides, I will just sit at a corner of the field and watch you if you agree, Ain explained and asked. I have no problem with that. Naruto answers after seeing Han and nodding in agreement. In that case I will go too, said Hanabi with excitement that she immediately tries to hide by saying, I mean, I am still worried about mom and want to be next to her just in case. But the truth is that now she was even more curious out Naruto and wants to learn more about him. Later that day, when Naruto is about to leave, Ain gave the signal to one of the servants to give Naruto a stack of books, which he realizes are books that cover a variety of subjects. However, one of them catches his eyes as it was a book that covers medical jutsu. Thank you, Naruto said, already figuring out that Hinata's mom will not accept a no as an answer. My pleasure, Ain replies, and with that Naruto leaves the Hyuga complex. He is something special, said Ain, then turning to her both daughters. There is no doubt that he will turn into an amazing man. IJ Ust hope that the woman that manages to get his heart understands that and treasures him. She continued. What do you mean, mom? Asked Tada, with Hanabi playing close attention. You both are young and still need more experience, but I can tell you that he is destined to accomplish great things when that happens. Many people will begin to pay more attention to him. Some of them may not have good intentions, will try to use him. Some of them could even be beautiful girls that will be interested not in him but by what he may represent or what he has. I just hope that when that day comes he will see the truth. Or at least have good friends that truly care for him, Ain explains to her daughters. But that said, she gives Naomi a signal and she began to push her wheelchair back inside the complex, leaving both sisters to think about what she said back with a cane. My lady, can I ask you something? Asked Naomi. What? It is, Ain replies. Why? You tell them that, Naomi questioned. Because it is the true, Ain replies in a matter-of-fact tone. But you know the burden that he carries. His future will be full of pain and hardship. Whether or not he will be able to shine or find some level of happiness is something that I can't be certain about. That Naomi replies. Thinking that way is understandable with the level of information that you have on Naruto. Ain counters. Are you implying that there is more to know about him? Naomi asks, surprised. That is correct, but I can't tell you more because it is an S-rank secret. Ain answers, I understand, my lady, but why would you give them both your implicit permission and encouragement for both Hanadama and Hanabi-sama to get close to him? Wouldn't be enough to just tell that to Hanadama they are friends after all? Naomi asks, confused by her mistress's actions. Did you see how Abby was looking at Naruto even with her Byakugan when she believes that no one was looking at her, and every time that she asked something it was related to that golden chakra that he used? Do you know why that is? Ain asks. It could be that Hanabi-sama is curious about it, Naomi replies, contemplating the question. You know her, she will not stop until she manages to learn all that she can about that golden chakra, and for that she will want to spend more time with him. Ain answers simply, even so there is no guarantee that she will develop more than a friendship with him. And what about Hinata-sama? Onl. Why? Noble clans are allowed to have more than one wife, and that is under extreme circumstances. Besides, they are too young. Naomi says, there is no need to worry. Not only do I know my daughters, but I also knew Naruto-kun's father. He was a real heartbreaker, even if he did not want to be one. Akane explains confidently. His father? Naomi asks. The day I would like to take my tea in the garden, Ain says, and Naomi understood what her statement meant. Naomi understood that her lady will not talk more about the topic and proceeded to follow her instructions. The next day, in the same field that Naruto and Hinata had been using to train, we see them training again, but this time they have an audience. 3 figures staying in a tree shadow watching them. These 3 people were Akane, who was in her wheelchair, Hanabi, and Naomi. At first Hinata was nervous about being watched by her mom while she was training. Fearing that she could react like her father when he sees her, but thanks to Naruto she manages to gather the courage and began to do their training as usual, first with meditation, then chakra exercise, and finally sparring, while adding some of the tricks that Naruto has taught her. The sparring session was as intense as the one Hanabi saw when spying on them, but this time they raised the level a little more. The way that Hinata defended herself when Naruto attacked, how she counterattacked when she saw an opening, how her movements were fast and decisive, all while they have been watched under the supervision of Ain Hyuga. At the end of the day, when their sparring session ceased, Ain called them over so they could share some snacks that she has prepared. I have to say that I was impressed by your progress, Hinata, Ain said, complimenting her daughter. Thanks, Mom, Hinata said happily. She was glad to hear that her mom is proud of her. By the way, Naruto, may I ask where did learn all those teaching techniques? Ain asked. From no one, I just do what feels natural and follow my dreams, Naruto answers. That is wonderful, you are truly a brilliant kid. By the way, may I ask you, is it possible for Hanabi to join your training sessions? Ain asked. That question not only surprised Naruto and Hinata but also Hanabi. I know that Hanabi wants to spend time with me, but I know that she would get bored only watching from a distance. Besides, I believe that it will be for the best if she learns more about what is outside of complex. Ain explains. I am fine with that if that is what she wants. Naruto replies. What do you think, Hanabi-chan asked Ain. If that is what Okasama wants, then I am fine with it, Hanabi said, while trying to hide the fact that she was happy after all the performance that she has just seen had shown her that this boy Naruto is really special. Not only that, but he is the reason for her big sister's improvement. All day she wanted to ask to join them, but she was just too shy to ask. But now, thanks to her mother, she has a chance to train the same way her sister does. Excellent. So from now on until the day classes start, you can train with them, Ain said, and so they continue with their meal until it was time to leave. When they arrived at the border of the park, they parted ways. Bobby and Hinata were a few meters ahead talking with each other, and Naomi was pushing a cane wheelchair. T-head Assam sure has imp roved, Naomi said, trying to start a conversation with her mistress, who was deep in thought. Yes, she has, was her answer. Are you all right, my lady? Ain asked Naomi. Didn't you find anything strange in the things that Naruto was teaching Hinata? Ain asked, still with a serious face. I have to say that he was trained, and the things that he said to support and improve Hinata's Sama were not only really effective, but he explained it in the correct way to help her. Naomi B. Then that is where the problem is, Ain said. Ain Sama asked a confused Naomi. That was too advanced for a little kid. I was part of the core, and many of the things that he said to Hinata could work in our training routine, explained. After a few seconds of silence, Naomi asked, do you believe that someone is teaching him? I don't think so. You saw how he reacts to other adults and strangers. If someone was teaching him, his attitude would be a little different, Ain answered. Then how do you explain all the things that he seems to know? Naomi asks. I don't know, Ain confesses. Could it be that he is a genius? Naomi suggests. That would not be a surprise, Ain concluded. But that said, they continued their trip in silence towards their plan complex. That night in Nut's apartment, we see how Naruto was reading the books that Han's mom lent him. Oh man, it will take me weeks to finish these books, and I don't want to abuse her kindness that much, so I better hurry up and read these books, Naruto said to himself, feeling frustrated. A couple of hours later, just as he had finished the first book, he was fighting off sleep and failing at it. The book he finished was just a small one. If I only could read more books at the same time, or when I am training with Hinata-chan. With that last thought, fell to sleep. At night he once again dreams about how a man in red armor, whom he knew was the first Hokage Hashirama, was talking with his brother Terama, who was the second Hokage. I see that you created a new jutsu, Hashirama said to his brother. That is correct. This new jutsu will be of great help in the future, replied Terama. But what does it do, Hashir? Amma asked. Just watch this, Terama said as he made the hand sign in the shape of a cross with his index and middle fingers, and after a small explosion of smoke, a replica of Terama was standing beside the original one clone. But I already can make those, Hashim said as he looks disappointed with a dark sea loud over him. But not like this one, Terama defended his invention. These clones are unlike any other clones, since they can be used for reconnaissance missions without risking the life of the shinobi, and if the clone is destroyed, it will transmit back all the information the clone had gathered to its Creator really that is impressive. Hashirama complimented his brother that will reduce the risk that AR shinobi face when they are gathering intel inside enemy territory. Not only that, but because these clones know all that the original knows, you can send them to do light duties while the original can do more physically demanding tasks. Terama explained after Hashirama heard that he got an idea. Do you mean that I can leave these clones doing all of the paperwork of the clan while I can go and do others more interesting stuff? Hashirama asked his brother desperately. What I did not create my shadow see. Lone jutsu just so you can go and play around. Terama lectured his brother, but it can be used in that way. Hashirama asked, I will not teach you this jutsu if you are going to use it that way. Terama denied. Please, Hama begged his brother. The scene would be comical to anyone watching the TP picker. Nudo I. And his dream saw how the first HOK and white his brother until he finally accepted to teach him that jutsu. Naruto watched the process and began learning. The next morning he began to practice what he saw in the dream, and after a few tries he managed to create one clone. He wanted to do a few more tests, but it was getting late and he needed to meet with Hinata, so he left the clone and told him to begin reading those books. When he arrives at the training field, he saw that Hinata, Hanabi, her mother, and their servant Naomi are already there. Good morning. Naruto greets all of them. Good morning was the answer that he received. Then he turns to Hanabi. Hi Hanabi-chan, are you ready to begin our training? Naruto asks the girl. Of course I am ready, and I will advise you to not underestimate me, Hanabi answered, giving Naruto a warning. Okay, I have already done some sparring matches with Hinata-chan, so I already have an idea about what she is capable to do. Now I would like to do the same with you so we may find out how we can proceed with you as well. Naruto told Hanabi. That sounds interesting, but I warn you that I will not hold back. Hanabi replies back straightly, I would never ask you to do that, Naruto assures Hanabi. So after they began to do some warm-ups, they got into their stances, but this time Naomi acts as a referee. Are you ready? Naomi asked the two and received nods from them and said begin. Hanabi didn't waste time and jumped to attempt to land the first strike on him, but Nudo managed to avoid the TTACK. Hanabi didn't stop there, however, as she turned to try to hit him again. Naruto deflected the strike by using the palm of his hand to push her forearm away from him. After a few sparring sessions with Hinata, Naruto has learned the painful lesson to never have any contact with her hands and feet. He was using those same lessons with Hanabi during their spar. Hanabi, for her part, was not only surprised but also impressed. After all, no one of her age group has been able to last this long against her. The sole exception was that of her cousin. Knee strikes and kicks were being traded between them, and no one seemed to be ready to give up, but then Nudo capitalized on an opening and his larger arm was able to land a hit on her stomach, ending the match. Hanabi, this was a first. She has never lost this way before and she didn't know how to react until Naruto got closer and offered her a hand to help her Oh, stand up, that was amazing. Hanabi-chan, I can see how you and Hinata-chan are sisters. You are awesome, Nudo said with a smile, seeing Nudo with his blonde hair and blue eyes looking at her while the sun rays touch his back made Hanabi blush for a moment. You are just being nice. I lost was her answer. That is not true. Besides, you didn't use your Bakugan. I am sure that you would have won if you had used it. Besides, that is why we train to become stronger every day, Naruto assures her. The Nai gave a small smile as she accepted his hand. Where did you learn to move like that? Asked Hanabi. I just watched Veer from a distance while train. You can learn a lot from that, answered Nudo, never mentioning that the people that he watches are in his dreams and that are HOK level ninjas. After a few moments they are joined by Hinata and began to train again, all under the watchful eye of Ain Hyuga. The days come and go, and soon a week has already passed, and Hanabi, Hinata, and Nudo had kept training. However, there was a small change in their routine since Ain no longer needed the wheelchair to get there. She instead now uses a cane, considering that she was sick for a long time, as only natural that she needs more time to fully recover. When they finished practice for the day and they were about to leave, Naruto goes for his backpack and took the books that they had lent him out to return. Thanks a lot for the books, they were very interesting, Naruto said as he hands the books to Naomi, but it has only been a Days since we gave you these books, Ain said, surprised. Yes, and they have a lot of amazing stuff in there, Naruto said as he raises his hand and a green chakra began to form around it. This chakra color could only mean that the healing palm jutsu is being used. See, I learned a lot from it, Naruto said. After activating the healing palm jutsu, all who were present were surprised by what they saw. Naruto, did you manage to learn that in only a few days? Asked an astonished Ain. Yeah, it was pretty easy thanks to that book, said Naruto, but this is something that not even Naruto knew, that now that the Nold GE of the healing techniques awakened when he saved Akane's life, it will be easier for him to have access to that knowledge in his subconscious. He only needs a little stimulus like practicing or reading a book. I see you are an amazing boy, Ain praised Naruto, who blushed at the praise since he did not used to receiving praise. Once again they departed in different ways when they arrived at the end of the training field, then headed towards their own homes, but this time Main had something else planned. The Nada, Hanabi, could you please go inside and return these books to the clan library? I have another place that I would like to go to, Ain asked her daughters. Yes, but where are you going, mother? Asked Hinata. I just want to meet an old friend. Don't worry, I will be back before dinner time, Ain assured her daughters. But that said, she leaves with Naomi next to her. Soon they were in front of the HOK tower. Are you sure about this, my lady? Naomi asked. Yes, this is something that needs to be done, a king replied. A few moments later they were in front of the Hokage office when the secretary recognized the wife of the Huguk clan head. She went inside the office. A moment later she came back. The HOK will see you now, the secretary informed them. Thank you, Naomi. You wait here, Ain said, and she didn't wait for a reply before going in. Main, it is great to see you in good health. I was concerned about the state of your health, but it is good to see that you have overcome your condition, Horizon said, happy to see he. I appreciate your words, Surat Toy-sama, Ain replied, but something tells me that this is more than a social visit, Horizon said, curious to what she wanted to talk about. You are correct, in fact I want to talk about the person that saved my life, Ain replied. Really, if someone has the talent to help you when the best doctors in the village couldn't do it, then he must be talented. So do you want to recommend him to be a doctor in the hospital? Harrison asked her. Actually no, at least not yet. I want to talk about Naruto, Ain answered. Kobe's face grew serious when he heard the name of the boy, but he knew there must be a history behind why Ain wanted to talk about him. What about him? Asked Kisan. So Ain began to tell him the whole story about how she feared her last days had come, how she wanted to meet Hanan's new friend before she died. What name? Naomi and her daughters told her of what happened when Yuto cured her. She ended the story by telling him how Naruto and her daughters have been training together. Golden chakra? Asked Surat Toy with concern. Was it the Ninette Tails chakra? According to the people who were around me when it happened, they told me that they didn't feel any malicious intent and Avenue not experienced any side effects from that experience, Ain replied. But what could be the cause of this power? Here is an asked concern for the boy. It could have come from his mother's clan, Ain suggested. The Kane, you know that he is an orphan. Any record about his parents was lost when the Ninette Ailes attacked. Horizon tried shutting down the topic, and you should know that as a former classmate of both Kha and Minato and as a longtime friend I can recognize their son just by looking at him, Ain told him. Surat Toy remained silent for a moment but then continued. You know that you can't tell any body about that, don't you? Hiraisen asked her. And I haven't said anything, but it won't be long before the people that do not know will put two and two together and made the connection themselves, Ain replied, answering the HOK. What do you mean? Hiraisen asked. Please, Naruto looks just like Minato and he is even more intelligent than he was at his age. As he grows older the resemblance will only be more evident, and him being a genius the people will realize that he must be related to him, Ain explained. I agree that he looks like Minato, but I am afraid that you may be mistaken about his talent. I had been monitoring his grades in the academy and I am afraid that they are not that great. Here is rebutted. But you also know that the library denied him access to any of the books and resources he needed, and since he didn't have any clan to help he has been doing it all alone. Ain asked. Really, said Hokage, hiding his anger. My daughter Hinata lent him her book so he could do his homework. He was able to learn everything in a couple of days after he helped me. I also lent him a book with basic medical jutsu, and in less than a week he was able to learn the healing pal technique. Ain explained. In this time the surprise was evident on Surat Toy's face. Are you sure that it is not related to the power that he used to save you? Harrison asked. No, it was different, but it would be for the best if you ask him to show you the healing palm technique. Tell him that you want to see his progress or some. Ething maybe then you will see that he is not only a genius but also that some of the staff members of the academy had been sabotaging his education. After all, it takes months to learn that skill and he did it in a matter of days, and he did it alone. Once you see it you will realize that with his look and intelligence the people will make the connection between him and in no time. Ain assured. Maybe, but that still does not explain how he could save you. Here isn't allowed. When I was helping Kushina train with her chakra chains, she told me that a clan could be a little irregular about its power. At some of them develop the chains well, others have some kind of healing techniques, and a few even manage to get both of them, but there is only one person that can answer that, and you know it, don't you? Akan lectures. I am afraid that that is not possible, Horizon said. Why not? Did she even know that her son is alive? I can't believe that Kha would leave her son behind if she knew that he is still alive, Ain asked. She still couldn't believe the actions of her friend, but that is what she did, even if it is not all her fault, Harrison confirmed. What do you mean? Ain asked. She suffered from postpartum stress syndrome and she either didn't want to or couldn't take care of Nudo at the moment. Here is in explained. The Kane was surprised by this revelation. All this time I believe that she left the village because she lost her husband and child, but why did you allow her to leave if she was in that condition? Ain asked. She didn't listen to reason or give me any choice, and with her still having good relationships with the feudal art I didn't have any other choice. Here Ison explained as he sighed in frustration. I can't believe that she would abandon Nudo, Ain said sadly. It was unthinkable for her friend to do this, the very same one who had been so excited to have her son who was left to grow up alone. The whole situation made her feel bad for both of them. It is because of her condition, PPD, from what the doctors told me. Even if she stayed, wouldn't be able to be a mother to Nudo until she overcomes her condition. Here is an explained further. Poor Nudo, when he learns this it will break his heart, Ain said, concerned for the blonde boy she has come to care about. That is why we can't tell him. Here is in decided he will find out one way or another, either by figuring it out himself or Kha coming back. When that happens he will be mad and hurt. Ain tries. That will be dangerous if he loses control of his emotions. The fox could escape from the seal, Harrison told her. You can't avoid all the bad things that Nudo will have to suffer sadly as a Genu. Those bad moments will be part of his life, but maybe there can be a way to give him support for when he has to face those moments. Ain says. How? Was the simple but important question that Kopi asked sadly. All the kids keep their distance and insulate him from the others, all the other kids except for my Hinata-chan and now also Hanabi-chan. Ain saw it. What are you planning? Harrison asked her, concerned for her planning. I have a proposal for you, said Ain, smiling with a little smirk. Smirk told Surat Toy that he will have more work to do. It has been a few days since the meeting between Harrison and Ain. Ison managed to find the perfect time to meet Nudo. He wanted to be casual so he would not scare him or make him believe that something was wrong, so he planned to be on the same road that he takes to go home after he finished his training sessions with the Hyuga sisters. Old man, what are you doing here? Naruto asked the boy standing behind the elderly. Hello Nudo, I was just wanted to take a walk, taking advantage of there not being too much paperwork today. What about you? Here is in reply to his grandson. Figure I just finished practicing with my two friends, Nudo explained, smiling. That is great. By the way, have you learned anything new? Here is in asked Naruto, trying to be inconspicuous. Like what? Naruto asked. I don't know, a new move or a jutsu that you have learned since you began to practice with your friends. Let's make a bet. If you show me a new jutsu I will take you to Oroku Ramen and you can eat all you want. Here in propose to the blonde, knowing he would fall for the bed. Really, you're on, Naruto said as he made a few hand signs, and then the green chakra began to cover his hand. This is something that I learned from a book that my friend's mom lent me, Naruto said with a happy smile. He was not paying attention to the surprised expression on the old Kobe's face. Even if Ain told him that he was able to do it, seeing in person was still a big surprise. Okay Nudo, as I promised I will take you to get all the ramen that you can eat, Hizen said proudly, smiling at the boy. Yan, Naruto exclaimed happily. A few hours later, Ison was back in his office. Horizon was finishing writing a letter. After he finished, he summoned a small monkey and ordered it to deliver his letter. How is possible that a small body like his could eat so much ramen? Surat Toy asked himself, thinking about the day's events and what he was able to confirm today. Nudo is a genius, and Ain was right to say that he may already be smarter than Minato was at his age. This information was a source of great happiness and concern at the same time. We may need to move sooner than expected. With that said, he turns off the lights of his office and leaves. If we had managed to arrive a little earlier and look over his shoulder when he was writing, we could have known that the letter had said young Nudo has inherited his father's intelligence. He may attract more attention than